I do remember the first time we played Every Little Thing because that was like our first like radio single. Back when radio was a thing. We were playing a festival. I was like in California or somewhere out in the West Coast. And I remember we played that song, like the entire like festival was singing along. And I was just like, holy crap, like it's happening. Like that was a really, really, that's an unforgettable moment for me.
Welcome to Church Jams Now, the podcast where three former youth group kids and current music nerds deep dive into Christian music from the 90s and 2000s. I, of course, am your co-host, Kylan Savage. With me, as always, is Mr. TJ Smith.
Hey, Kylan, you want to pack up and move to California, man?
I would. With you, I would.
Cool. Sounds
and
good.
we have beautiful producer, Josh.
Hey, guys, make sure you take me on your trip to California.
Oh, we will, buddy. You know we will.
And joining us this week, we have a very special guest from Hawk Nelson, from Dunner, from a myriad of other things. Guys, we're here talking with Jason Dunn. Jason, how's it going?
Hi. She's got lots of friends out there. I don't know. I don't know how to chime in.
No, it's okay. Here's the thing. TJ always makes a reference to the album that we're talking about, and none of us know how to respond. So you're in good company.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
I'm so excited. We're going to talk about Letters to the President. This is a big one in our
This is a big one.
In the Church Jams Now lore, because I believe this was initially planned to be I think I started working on the artwork when we first started the show. I think it was going to be like episode 4.
Was it going to be that early? Wow.
I think so, yeah. Either like 4
That's
or 7.
wild.
And now, Josh, what's this going to be?
This will be 97, volume 97.
It's a
So it
long
got
way
pushed
from
back
Wow.
a little bit, but like perfect timing. You know, we saved it for the 20th anniversary. So
Yep.
pretty perfect.
Jason, how do you feel about it turning 20 years old?
It's weird, man. It is so weird. I can't really grasp it. Like I think about 20 years ago, I was like 19, 20. My kid just turned 7. I was like, dang, like I was like making my first songs at 7, and it's just like it doesn't seem like that long ago.
Right.
Like it
Wow.
doesn't seem that long ago flying to Seattle to record that album, but it's been 20 years. I've had a whole life since then.
Crazy.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I've had like 2 lives since then.
Right. That's been what's been so fascinating to me is like 2024 is like a big year for 20th anniversaries for a lot of records
There's so many
that
of
we
them.
love. That's just like, oh my God, yeah, I'm so old now. Like I got a kid and
It's weird, isn't it?
yeah.
And yet we continue to cover these albums and do this to ourselves.
Yeah, because
remind
it's still
ourselves how
rad.
old
We
are.
have
Because
to.
it's
We have
it's
to.
rad.
It's our promise to
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
Right. We're doing the good work.
So, Josh, what should we do next? What are we gonna do?
We can always do research, but should we get a little backstory on Jason, maybe?
Let's do
This
that.
is like a good place to
Jason,
start.
Let's dive right in.
Okay, so we usually like to start when we have guests on. We want to hear your origin story. As we've said, our podcast is about Christian music from the 90s and 2000s. The three of us were all raised in the church, and this was like mostly the only kind of music we could listen to. So
Same.
I'm really curious. Yeah, I want to know like what kind of music you grew up listening to. What was the first CD you bought, and how you kind of got involved in Christian music in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah. Well, to correct you, the first thing I ever bought was actually its cassette.
Cassette tape, sorry.
Ooh,
Sorry.
I got a few
okay.
years on you guys, so
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a loophole. The first CD I ever got was Songs from the Loft. Actually, my brother got that, and I stole
Wow.
it from him.
There you
My
go.
first real CD was
Nice.
Once in a Lifetime by David Meese.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
But my first cassette, my first piece of music that I ever owned was Change Your World by Michael W. Smith.
Nice.
Nice.
Good one.
I love
Alright.
piano and keyboards and stuff like that. And those two guys were like the thing for me growing up. So
Sweet.
So did you grow up having like, were you just listening to Christian music in your house?
oh yeah, I couldn't listen to anything else.
Okay. All right.
Like
So what
I
did
couldn't
you-
even listen to Petra.
Oh,
it's
man.
too hard rock, huh?
Wow.
Like,
They were
well,
too
they
edgy.
wore women's clothes on stage was the rumor when I was a kid, so I could never go see them in concert. They came to like
They had
close
some
to us. Like,
makeup
no,
and
no,
stuff.
no. They wear bras on stage.
Too
Oh, man.
edgy.
Too
Just
edgy.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Too edgy
Yeah.
for the Lord.
So, yeah, we laugh now, but back then it was so
oh, yeah.
bad.
Oh, for sure.
So
man.
angry at my parents for that.
There was so
makes
much
sense.
stuff that I just like, I was just not allowed to consume. But for some reason, with my parents, like the one thing that they let slide was Prince. It was like, oh, okay, so
Okay. Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
I can't listen to Blink 182, but
Yeah. For me, it was Guar.
oh,
I'm just joking.
That
I
tracks.
was like, wow, yeah,
They're
that
fine,
works.
yeah.
So, I want to talk to you about like your musical upbringing. You said you started writing your first songs when you were 7. Let's talk.
I was young, man. Actually, I'm outside right now, and I'm not going to get all touristy, but at the end of my street here is a river, and across from that river was the house that I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
I'm literally like a 3-minute like kayak ride from where I grew up, and that's intentional. I think all my childhood like favorite memories were in that house. So when I moved back here, 8 years ago, I actually wanted to buy my childhood home, but a new family was there, and
Oh,
they weren't interested in selling, and then they put a price up, it was way too high. So I ended up moving here. And
also, though, hey, can we just comment real quick on how you just very nonchalantly said a 3-minute kayak ride?
I know.
Like,
That's
we all
his
just
ideal
breeze
mode of
past that.
transportation. Yeah.
yeah,
I love that.
awesome.
I love that.
That's true. That's probably
It really
weird.
should be the new standard travel, I think.
It should.
Kayaks.
Yeah.
We should.
Well,
we should
or
just
12-minute
shift.
paddleboard. I don't know.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you've heard
Yeah,
as
that
the crow
works too.
flies, we have as the Jason Dunn kayaks. You know?
As the Jason. Yeah.
And I'm not
As-
fast either.
As the hawk kayaks. We have the
Uh-huh.
crow
There you
flies
go.
hawk kayaks. There we go. That's it.
We got there, folks.
I am an idiot. Shoot, it sounds so stupid. But anyways, so that's just not far as where my whole musical endeavor began. I'm just
Cool.
playing in my basement and using my dad's guitars and amps, and
So your dad was a musician?
yeah, my dad was he was the worship leader in our church.
Oh, cool.
He's a house painter by trade. He's actually retiring this year, so it's a big year for him, and my mom. But yeah, so my dad gave me guitar lessons when I was I started learning guitar around 12 because, as I mentioned earlier, I was a big Smitty fan, a big David Meese fan. So all I played was piano. I played piano since I was 4 years old, from 4 to 12. And then I had an older brother and younger brothers, and they used to always kind of rag on me for playing the piano, and only girls play piano. And I took offense to that.
Right.
And I realized, chicks were the guys that played the guitar. And so I got my dad to teach me to play the electric guitar. And, I would just swoon the girls in high school with
There you go, man.
with my songs. And I didn't know it then, but yeah, it totally worked.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that the only reason that happened is because pianos are too hard to carry. It could have been.
100%.
Yeah, they were more
For
portable, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the Casios didn't really sound like Casios today. You're
Right.
they were the toy piano sound was not that good.
Yeah.
Babe, this piano comes with 8 different sounds.
And
That's a
then
drum
you're
kit right there.
You're
Yeah.
there is always the weird guy bringing the Casio around. You didn't want to be that guy.
And you don't want to hit the demo button because the demo's way better than you. Dang it. I should learn that song.
Oh, that's so funny. So then, let's talk about the origin of Hawk Nelson.
All
where
right.
you guys, how'd y'all get started and going into making this record?
Well, how far do you want to go? You want to go 12 years old, starting my first band?
Of course.
That's kind of how it started. And actually, when my beautiful wife, Neve, who you met earlier, helped me figure out this whole Zoom contraption, she is in there with a friend right now. Her name is Madison. And her husband, Chad, was the original bass player.
Oh,
Can you
nice.
believe that?
Wow.
Cool.
So we had a little band called Swish, and we started when we were 12 years old. We got an opportunity to play a big festival with my dad's band. So we got a 25-minute set or whatever when we were 12 on Canada Day weekend, just playing on this little stage as everyone's walking by with their families. playing all the
Nice.
originals,
Oh, that's awesome.
And as we got older, we just started. We also were like the youth band, right? Kids grew up in the youth group, so we were the youth band and played every Friday night. We led worship and all that stuff. Youth group was at 7 p.m. Then we convinced our youth pastor, like, could we play at 6:30? We could play all of our original stuff till 7, and then that was our in, right? He's like, sure, that's no problem, guys. So we literally did that every Friday. We just loaded and just play for our friends. You'd show up early, and then we'd start playing out of town. We started getting like asked to play other youth groups and other sometimes we do community events where like all the youth groups would get together in the city or around our province, and we would just do that. And then we'd move up to Quebec, and we started playing in Quebec and like all these different churches and things like that. But then we kind of were feeling the tension early on around, in high school, like we really wanted to be a punk band. Like that was like our root, like we all love Blink. We love Green Day. We even loved Relient K, like we were kind of, I can't say, you can't say that too loud, but like, when that song Marilyn Manson Ate My Girlfriend, we're like,
oh yeah,
this is so awesome.
Great song.
We were allowed to listen to them because they were Christian, but they were so cool. Like they sounded like Blink, too much like Blink, but it was like, okay, this is awesome. So that we were allowed to, but then we were still getting asked to do youth services and like play worship music. Like, can we play our own stuff? No, we want you to do this. So as we finished high school, we like decided, I was pretty certain that this is what I wanted to pursue. We've all got different passions, but for me, music was it for me. I didn't have a plan B. Still actually don't. But Chad, he wanted to go to college. He's so whipped back then.
Like a dweeb.
Yeah, what a dweeb, man. He had this girlfriend in high school that totally made him leave the band.
Bummer.
No, but yeah, so Chad went to school, and we were like, okay, well, the band can't end, so we ended up knowing some other guys in bands that we'd played with over the years. Just we kind of did the Ontario circuit, right? And this guy Dan was a singer of another band. He was like, his band was kind of in the same kind of transition where some of their guys were going to college and trying to figure life out after high school. And Dan was like, hey, if I could learn bass, like, I would join your guys' band in a heartbeat. I was like, oh yeah? Like, well, let's see. And then he ended up buying a bass. He bought a bass off another local band, 1,000 Foot Crutch. Joel had a bass that he was getting rid of. So Joel sold him his bass. And yeah, the rest, as they say, is history. Dan learned how to play bass. He joined our band, and we're like, guys, he was kind of the one that brought it. He's like, let's get a band name. We were going to keep our original band name Swish. He's like, no, let's start fresh, but like, let's not be a worship band. If you want to be a punk rock band, let's draw our line in the sand. Like, we're not going to be playing churches, and let's figure out who we are. And that was a really good kick in the pants for us. We're like, okay. And so that's what we decided from then on, that Hawk Nelson was going to be.
I didn't learn to play bass just to play at churches. I want to do this for real.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think they're playing at church, but you don't even need to learn to play bass. You just do it. They got one in the closet somewhere. It's still in tune.
Yeah, there's some dusty old Yamaha somewhere.
I've been at sound gear, 4-stringer, still in tune.
There it is.
Things are cemented together. Wow, all right.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And they've all got the same straps. It's crazy.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's amazing. The big bucket tuner, the big box. Okay.
Oh yeah. That's so funny. That's like so specific, and I have no idea.
That's everyone's experience, though.
How many of our listeners will relate to that? But I'm pretty sure the three of us relate so hard to that.
We've all seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then you guys start getting real serious, and then how many of those Swish songs sort of cross over into the new band, or are you starting totally fresh? Or
that was our first like band fight, because I had, as a songwriter, I had like hundreds of songs, and we were like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, I still like this song and this song. And he's just like, no, that's done. We're just crack the whip, right? So, okay. So we just went right back to it and just started writing a bunch of new songs. And
so you started entirely fresh, like
entirely fresh,
blank slate. Wow. Okay.
Wrote a lot of crappy songs real quick and tried to record them. And
as one does.
Yeah, and it was a learning process for sure. But then we took a year off because I was the youngest in the band. And so everyone had graduated high school except for me. I was still in my last year of school. And so everyone was like, hey, like, do you think your parents would be cool if like you quit school and we just did like a quick like tour? We'll make sure you get your schoolwork done and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll ask my parents. I'm pretty sure they're gonna say I do.
Yeah.
And it was a big no. And I was still not telling my parents entirely truly what I wanted to do with my life.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to school for like, I don't know, I think it'd be cool to be like a paramedic or something, you know. And like, okay, good for you, honey. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to culinary school. They want to be a chef, and like change my mind every 2 weeks. And then I slid in the truth one day. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just going to be in a band. Okay, honey, he'll change his mind in 2 weeks.
Right.
And then
but that's
that fall we hit the road with TFK and never came back.
Yeah.
till 8 years ago for me.
Right.
And I think it was probably 2 or 3 years in, my parents were like, oh, he's really going to do it. Like he's doing it. And
Right.
yeah. No regrets.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
The church that we grew up in ended up giving us church keys. They gave a few of us keys so we could have access to the church whenever we wanted. So we could go down to the music room to practice. We just left our gear set up, which was a crazy move on their end to give like a bunch of 4 dudes like keys. We'd bring
Josh and I know this well. I was a worship pastor at a church, and our Southern metal band always practiced there.
Oh yeah,
because I had a key, and I was like, they should not have given me a key to that place.
Yeah, I'm in that boat now because I have the keys of our church because I'm the same position as you, and I'm like, I'm like, I would never give a bunch of punk kids a key to access all the gear that I'm responsible for. Are you kidding me? You're destroyed.
Man, you're keeping the next generation from following in your footsteps.
Yeah. I'm just an old grumpy man now. See, look at that. What's happened to me?
So
you just know too much.
So we were always out there like every night. We practiced every night, at least 5 nights a week. And Trev from TFK, he was always like a mentor to us forever. Like I've known him since I was 6 years old, and his band had just kind of gotten success and they were touring, and he'd always be coming home sharing stories of being on the road and all the summer festivals, and he'd bring out the big honking digital camera back in the day. Like, look at these, look at the crowd. I was just like, we want to do that. How do we do what you're doing? And at this time, we were all sitting in his little Pontiac Sunfire, whatever it was he was driving, and he was showing us the demos for his new band, FM Static.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, these are so good. And we were just like so amped about this. But he had also taken note that we weren't just that band that was, jamming in a church basement once a month or whatever. Like he saw like, we were putting $100 a paycheck from our summer jobs to our band account to pay for recording time. And we'd raise a couple grand to make an EP just out of our own pocket. And that showed that we had some discipline to like, we wanted to do whatever it took to make this happen. Right. And I think he saw that. So once we got our EP, we did like a, 7 or 8 song EP, which was complete trash, by the way. He took it to Brandon Ebel at Tooth and Nail. And he's like, I know these kids. He's like, I believe in these kids. I think they've got something. And I'm sure Brandon listened. He's like, nope. So he's like, okay. He's like, I don't know what you see in these guys. He's like, but if you take them under your wing, mentor them, write some songs with them, get them some decent demos, he's like, I'll give them another chance. So Trev came and he spent months.
Of him, at least to give you like a second go,
Yeah. And I wish I knew the conversation that Trev had with Brandon, but I'm sure it wasn't just a one go. It was just Trev really sold us to him, and
yeah,
we wouldn't have had the career we had if it wasn't for Trevor.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, between TFK and FM Static, I feel like at that point he probably had
built up some rapport.
Yeah, built up some trust there.
Yeah.
So
but he also didn't have all the time in the world to spend with us either, but he did it. And I don't know how
that's so cool.
Guy was like a Superman. But yeah, so we just spent every day like full-time job working, writing. Like we just sat in that church basement. We just wrote songs after song after song after song. And we picked the 12 or whatever it was, the best ones. And that's Letters to the President. And that's how it all started. We flew to Seattle with Trev, and he co-produced with Aaron Sprinkle, and it was a dream come true for all of us, I'm sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I want to give it over to Josh to do our little research corner. So whenever we talk about a record, he'll give us some facts about the record, and please feel free to jump in and shut him down if he gets anything wrong. Yes, please.
I didn't know that.
I'm still waiting. Like, we've had a couple, right, Josh? We've had a couple like corrections, but everyone's always so sweet
here and
about
there.
it. I'm waiting for someone to like be a
no one
dick
just
about it.
comes down.
Like
on
no
it.
one,
Yeah.
no one like,
now's my chance.
jumps. Yes, please. If he gets anything wrong,
Just destroy him.
I'm all about fake news, so I might just be something completely wrong and false.
Oh man. Well, I did want to confirm the members for this album because, of course, we have Daniel. Is it Biro or Biro on bass?
Daniel Biro, yes.
Yep. Is it Dave Clark on guitar for this record?
Dave Clark, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then Matt Page on drums, right?
Matt Page, nailed
All
it.
right, got it. All right, sweet. So we're covering Letters to the President, like we said, for its 20th anniversary. It came out on July 13th of 2004. It was y'all's first non-independent LP. So was it Saturday Rock Action that Trevor brought to Brandon? It was like, check this out.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know how that didn't sell him, the cover alone. Really good. So this is a fun one for us because this was produced by Aaron Sprinkle, like you mentioned already, mixed by Jerry McNeely, and mastered by Troy Glessner to complete our Tooth and Nail Trinity, our production Trinity.
Trinity.
Yes.
Trifecta.
Yep. And then, like you already mentioned, it was co-produced by Trevor, and I want to know a little bit more about that, and just like the co-writing process, because I see that like almost all the songs on here are like credited as co-written with Trevor. So like, how did that work out where like y'all would have the songs and then just take them to him and he would like fine tune them, or were there songs that y'all were building from the ground up together?
A lot was like he would bring like a verse and a chorus, and we're like, that's sweet, and we tweak it, make it our own. But also at that age, we were young, like 19, 20 years old, and we didn't know anything about the music business or anything. So we just agreed from the very beginning that no matter what was written, we'd split everything equally.
cool.
Which ended up being the downfall of our band at the end of the day. But early on, we were like, yeah, okay, sure, sounds good. And then it went down to one person writing all the songs, but still splitting it
Right.
4 ways. But that's for another podcast for the 20th anniversary of Crazy Love.
Hey, real quick, I just have to say, I don't know if you guys have looked, but there's a CD copy of Saturday Rock Action selling on eBay, listed at $499.99. That's wild.
Wow.
Jason, you got any extra copies lying around?
Yeah, you make some money.
Yeah.
I saw someone showed me that before, like they were going for like a couple $100. I don't own one. Maybe I should buy it back.
Yeah,
buy it back. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I saw there's a couple in Canada. You could maybe just like get it from them in person. Don't even have to pay for shipping. Maybe it's just in your neighborhood.
That's so funny. That's wild.
That's
All right,
wild.
Josh,
Collector's item now.
Josh, what else we got?
That's all I had for the research.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So, without further ado, before we get into talking about the record, and we're not going to go track by track, so I think we'll just kind of jump around if that's cool with you guys. Like, or maybe we can just like bring up the track names, anything specific that speaks to us. But I want to play a game. If everyone's down for a game, it's been a hot second since we've had a game on Church Jams now.
It has, yeah.
Josh, have we had any games in 2024?
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Oh man.
So
okay, so this
maybe
used to
the
be a
first of
big
the
part of
year.
the show. And yeah, it's taken
Yeah.
way too long for us to have a game again. But Jason, this is a game all three of you guys are going to play.
All right.
It's 5 questions, of course, like most things in life. It's made up and the points don't matter. This is a game I'm calling Tony Hawk Nelson Mandela. So
I love it. It's the best name for a game.
Thank you.
Ever.
So I'm going to give you guys five quotes, and you're going to guess whether they are a quote from Tony Hawk or Nelson Mandela. So,
Hold on, I gotta get I'm way far to my Wi-Fi here. I gotta make sure I get this. I don't want
All
to
right.
lose. I'm too competitive.
all right.
I love that. He's got to get ready.
Perfect.
Okay. Let us know when you're good. I'm Josh, we need to come up with a little like theme for the games.
That would be a good idea.
We need
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah,
musical
that is a
theme.
good idea.
Or maybe that's a TJ job,
Or at least some sweet music.
right? We need
Yeah.
something. Some kind of like
That would be fun.
Jeopardy-esque. All right, here we go. Question number 1 of Tony Hawk Nelson Mandela. I believe that people should take pride in what they do, even if it is scorned or misunderstood by the public at large. Is that Tony Hawk or Nelson Mandela?
That's so good. That's so good. Oh my god.
Is that like
This is really hard.
the ESV version, or is that like a direct quote?
This is it. These are direct quotes.
That seems like a Mandela quote.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where I'm going.
TJ, where
This
you
looks
at?
easy,
You know,
though.
I want to believe that Tony Hawk was one of the great philosophers of our age.
He seems like a guy that uses
So-
scorned a lot, you know.
He's the kind of guy who's like, you know,
Yeah.
wonder if there's gonna be a game about this. I need to make this sound really, really clever.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it was Tony.
Okay. So that point goes to TJ. That is,
All
of
right,
course,
yes!
a Tony Hawk quote.
My faith
No
in
way.
Tony did
Yeah,
not
dude.
fail me.
Dude, I was so excited because,
That's
okay, so the
awesome.
way these games work is I come up with the name, right, before anything else.
Right.
And then I was fully prepared for it to all just be a joke. And then I was like, oh, dang, there are some like really good
Yeah,
quotes in here.
That was really good,
Yeah.
man. That was
Okay.
That
tough.
was good.
Here we go. Question number
Dang
2.
it.
Everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do.
See, that sounds
Now,
like a Tony
see-
Hawk quote, but it's probably not.
But it's probably
game
Nelson
is rigged.
Mandela. Like to
Who
do
knows?
it back to back like that
I
too, because like
know.
both of those feel
Bro, watch
very
this next
like.
move. Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm
I'm
going-
going Mandela.
I'm
on this
going
one.
Tony.
It's Tony. Come on.
All right. Wait. So Josh says Tony. TJ says Nelson Mandela. Jason, where are
Yeah.
you at?
I say Tony.
You say Tony. All right, guys. That point again goes to TJ.
Oh,
That is
yes!
a Nelson Mandela quote.
I am crushing this game.
TJ's reading the
Rarely
cheat sheet.
happens.
No, for real. Josh usually kills it at these games.
Yeah, I
so
rarely win.
TJ
This is
never,
weird.
ever wins.
This
is
is a
very
good game.
strange.
But I
You're
feel
getting really
like
good here.
if I were to pick two people of prominence in the world to mash together to create TJ, I feel like Tony Hawk and Nelson Mandela would make a lot of sense.
Oh, buddy. I love that.
Yeah. Here we go, guys. Question number 3. It always seems impossible until it's done.
Whoa.
So he's referring to the 900 for sure.
He's referring to the impossible trick that Rodney Mullen invented.
Ah.
So
Is it, or is it Nelson Mandela referring to apartheid?
I think that's a Rune Glipper
that's
quote.
the thing. It's a room
Because-
nice.
It could be either.
Right.
It fully could be either.
It really could.
It could be apartheid or the 900.
Okay, one more time.
Or
What
the
was it again?
900.
It always seems impossible until it's done.
Tony.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Tony for sure.
Okay.
Come on.
TJ, where you at?
I got to stay true to form and like,
You're getting all the
Dude,
points
be
this way.
the-
Yeah.
yeah, I got to be the foil. So I'm going to go Nelson Mandela.
All right,
Again.
guys. TJ's 3 for 3.
Oh my
Oh, that's
Yes!
a Nelson Mandela quote.
Can't believe
TJ
TJ won
so
already.
satisfying.
Okay, here's question number
That's
4.
so fun.
There's only two more. Question number 4. The biggest life lesson is the value of perseverance.
Mandela.
Okay.
I'm going Tony Hawk on
Yeah,
this
that's
one.
Mandela, so I'm going to say Tony Hawk.
Okay.
Wait, would you
I'm
say
going Tony
Teach?
Hawk.
Okay, I'm
Tony
going,
Hawk,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys. TJ and Jason, y'all both get a point. That is a Tony
Yeah,
Hawk
Jason
quote.
up top, man. Up top.
If TJ jumps, I'm jumping right with him. Right? Whatever he says.
All right, guys.
I've got some kind of secret understanding of this
Uh-huh.
game baked in.
So
All right, what's the
here's
last
the
one?
last one. I won't
Mandela.
quit. Okay, are you gonna lock that in?
Right
you want to
out of
lock
the
that
gate.
in?
No.
We can lock that in because the last one is I won't quit skateboarding until I am physically unable. Tony
Ooh.
Hawk or Nelson
Who
Mandela?
could this be?
You know, he was into skateboarding for like a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Hawk 2. Check it out. He's a secret character you can unlock.
Nelson Mandela.
You can
Nelson
unlock
Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
You can unlock Spider-Man and Nelson
He's
Mandela.
got-
Left, right, up,
He's
down,
got a-
circle, square, X.
He's got a custom trick called the Mandela effect. And
Yeah.
in it,
full
skateboards turn
Nelson.
into bananas.
Yeah, the full
Oh, no, that's
In a
WWE.
certain
Never mind.
world.
right. No, you get double
Everybody
points.
skateboards on bananas.
Well, guys, who is that? Come
that's
on.
pretty good.
Jeez.
Tony Hawk or Nelson
It's
Mandela?
Tony.
I need final answers.
Of course.
Tony. If it's somehow not, I'll be amazed.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm shocked if it's not, or I won't be shocked if it's not Tony Hawk.
But wouldn't it be so funny if it was Nelson Mandela?
It's
Guys, that was
expected at
Tony
this
Hawk.
point.
That was Tony Hawk.
TJ.
So
Clean
everyone gets a
sweep.
point for that
score.
one. But yeah,
Whoa.
TJ got a perfect score. That's never
Dude,
happened.
this feels cool, man.
Yeah.
Is this what it feels like to win something? To like
It
be
is.
competitive and care
don't know.
about like games and
Yeah, dude.
sports
Why do you think
stuff?
we love games?
yeah, it's okay.
that sounds about right.
Yeah,
It was
what's your
nice for a
taste of the
second.
goodness? Yeah.
My alternate quote for number 5 that I also thought would have been funny was, "I understand modern skateboarding,"
That's great.
which was
I could see
definitely
Nelson
which was
Mandela.
yeah, that was a huge Nelson Mandela quote. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for playing Tony Hawk, Nelson Mandela.
Bravo.
TJ, your trophy's
Well
in the
done.
mail.
Yes.
Have you been listening to the new Pedro the Lion record?
I've heard a couple singles.
Yes, it's incredible.
Yeah. What do you love about it, Kylan?
I love the autobiographical nature of the songs and how it's a continuation of the previous 2 albums, in which he
Yeah.
also wrote a bunch of incredibly deep and personal autobiographical songs.
That's true.
If I'm being honest, I haven't listened to it yet,
Oh,
which Josh knows.
I think that's perfectly okay, Kylan. You're probably just waiting until your record comes in.
Yep.
And where else is a better place to buy the record of the new Pedro the Lion record and many, many other Pedro the Lion records other than
Amazon.com.
no.
wait a minute.
I don't think
No.
so. Not
Wrong.
here, Jeff Bezos. He did try to sponsor us, and we
Get
said
behind
no.
me,
We
Jeff.
shut him down. Shut him down.
Behind me, Bezos.
Good. But you know who we gladly promote on this show is Collide Records.
CollideRecords.com.
Collide Records. They got so much music.
I know.
going.
They have the new Santa Cruz.
I know.
By Pedro the
and,
Lion.
And they've got the last 2 records, Phoenix and Havasu, if you don't have those. And they've got a lot of the other Pedro stuff that has been repressed. Only Reason, Control, Achilles Heel. So if you're big Pedro fans, even if you're like us, or even if you're not Pedro fans, they got plenty of other stuff on their store to check out. And if you do, is there something that you can do special if you listen to the show?
Yes, guess what?
What?
You don't have to pay full
What?
price. If you're a fan
How?
of this show,
How do you do that?
you use your fingers,
Okay.
go to
Okay,
colliderecords.com. Hold on. I got to find the full URL because we all know this is how this works. Yeah, hold on. https://colliderecords.com/collections/Pedro-the-Lion. You can find all of your Pedro the Lion and David Bazan audio needs met. And if you use your fingers at checkout, type in Church James Now, how much do you think you would get off? Like, guess a number, 1 to 20. 5.
25. 25 what? Cents? Yeah, 25 cents.
Yes,
a
you get
quarter.
25
I think you would
cents
get
off.
a quarter.
I think that's a good deal. I mean, that cuts down.
Guess what? I got an
Shipping
even
costs.
better deal for you.
No.
Guess a number
What is it?
from 18 to 20.
19.
Guys, you're so bad at this. Guess a number from 19 and a half to 20.
I'm guessing 20.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is it 20?
You win. You get 20% off your purchase.
What? That's awesome.
That's a great deal right there. You can save some major cash that way.
So if you go to colliderecords.com, pick a record, any record, guys. It's like a magic trick. At checkout, type in Church James Now. You'll get 20% off your purchase, which is amazing. Collide Records. Craig,
Ta-da.
thank you. You guys are rad. We love iTunes reviews. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, it doesn't matter. We love talking about it because I guarantee you every time someone sends in a new iTunes review, Josh will screenshot it and send it to our group chat. And if it's great, we will give it all the heart emojis. Be like, this is
Yeah.
incredible. And if it's bad, we'll talk about it the rest of the day. But
I
either
usually ignore
way,
it.
it's well, I'll think about it the rest of the day. But
Yeah.
we love it. We appreciate people being honest in their reviews, right? Whether you think we deserve
Yes.
1 star or 5 stars,
Do we have a new one to share?
we do have a new iTunes review to share. Thank you,
Can
TJ,
we
for
hear
keeping
it?
me on track. So we're going to hand it over to beautiful producer Josh to read our newest iTunes review.
Our newest one. And like you mentioned, Kylan, whether it's 5-star or 2 stars, we'll read it. But this one, I'm happy to say, is a glowing 5-star review.
Woo. It's not just regular, it's glowing.
Yeah. And the name is Jake's Zeski.
Jake Ziski.
Like
Yeah.
Suzuki?
Yeah, Suzuki. Maybe that. But the title of it is Pure Nostalgic Bliss. Jake Suzuki writes, I'm so happy a podcast like this exists. I love the trip down memory lane that each episode brings me and how I'm reminded of so much good, in parentheses, or bad music from my childhood Christian community. Props to y'all and thank you for doing this. Thanks, Jake
Wow,
Suzuki.
thanks to Ziski.
Jake Suzuki, however you pronounce your name.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you so much. And if you want to be shouted out in a similarly clumsy manner, leave us a review on iTunes.
We'll apologize now for your name pronunciation, but thank you for
Yep.
your review.
Yes, that
Ahead
was
of time.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that
That's
was
why
really
we
great.
do the show.
Thank you, Jake. We're excited that you're listening. We appreciate it, man.
So let's get back to why we're really here. Apartheid.
Wait a minute.
What was up with that? No. Letters to the
Right,
president. So, Jason, let's get into this album a little bit. So, I know you last year you had an interview with Matt on the Labeled podcast, which people should definitely go check out if they haven't.
Definitely.
It's very good. And so I don't want to cross over too much with, what you guys talked about. But I know you brought up going to Seattle to record and just being able to like sleep there and wake up and drink coffee and play music, and that sounds super awesome. But I want to, I want to get into it like a little bit more of like, had you ever been to Seattle before?
I've never been on an airplane before.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
That was my first airplane ride
That's cool.
ever.
That's cool.
Oh, that must have been such a trip.
In fact, I'd never been outside of Canada before until like a week or two before that.
So how long were you
Crazy.
guys there? Like, did you have to get visas to go record that album? Or
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
We had a little bit earlier, we got P2 visas, which allowed us to travel across to do like work. And so we had those, but they expired like every couple of years or whatever. So yeah, we had our little P2s and hopped on a flight, flew to Seattle, and John Dunn picked us up from the airport.
Nice.
Friend of the
Nice.
show.
I thought that
How
was
that?
awesome.
How is meeting John Dunn?
It was the best.
He's pretty cool.
Like, I'd love to see that guy again.
He's wild. We've had him on the show once before, and he's a trip.
He's got
man.
some good stories.
Yeah,
He does.
he's a story guy for sure.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so
Nice.
so John Dunn picked you up, and then did you go straight to the studio or?
Yeah, so he took us to the compound where we recorded, which was, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been there before. It's awesome. It's fantastic. And right above it is like a condo where the band stays. So there's living space, bunch of beds, bunch of bunk beds, and bathroom and shower. And we just basically tooth and nail goes a bunch of money to buy groceries and stuff. And we just loaded up and made ourselves at home.
So I want to talk about your pre-production process with Aaron Sprinkle. We've had a few people, and we've had Aaron on a bunch of times, and I'm really fascinated by his pre-production process. So did you guys just like kind of play him what you had, or like how did you guys work on stuff?
I'm trying to remember exactly, but I do remember us recording all the demos, sending them in, and then him sending them back, and then us re-recording demos, and then him being like, okay, come on in. I have a hard time remembering the timeline, but I remember us booking studio time in Peterborough where I am now. That was our hometown. I just remember booking studio time and going in and re-recording the demos for like a third time.
Oh, wow.
And I remember I had to like take it easy because like I like my voice was like shot from the amount of times we were kept singing it and recording. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
But I don't remember how long that took. It seemed to take a long time. But I do remember when we went to Seattle, I'd never met Aaron before. We just chatted on the phone or whatever. It was before FaceTime or anything. So I didn't even know what the guy looked like. Which also I thought about this just like 2 days ago. Aaron was probably like 30 years old.
Yeah,
Right,
he was
yeah,
super
yeah.
young.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
If you're
that's a kid. That's a kid's age. Like, what the heck? So weird.
But he's like basically Rick Rubin to y'all though.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
this man is amazing. And like, he's like a kid.
But I mean, sometimes there are wonderkins out there that they just know,
Yeah,
He was
seriously.
one of those.
I just remember going in and him just changing a few things, but everything he changed, like anything excites me. I got that one Tony Hawk quote right. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
But like, he was like, let's just change this chord. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This song is so epic. Like, like everything gets me just amped.
Yeah,
so
dude.
You're like your own hype man, basically.
yeah. I'm going to get myself through this day. So,
Were there any like particular moments that you remember in songs that like something changed in the studio and it was like a big difference from?
Yeah, I remember the arrangement. The arrangement for California changed, and I don't really remember what the original was. But I'm getting ready. I'm going to do a 20th anniversary show via Facebook Live or something.
Yeah.
So I was going over all the songs just on my acoustic, and I was like, how does this song even go? I'm like, so I had to listen to like the actual song. I'm like, I don't remember that. So I think maybe I'm throwing in like the original variation.
Right.
Oh, nice, subconsciously.
Yeah. But I just remember him changing a few parts. I'm like, oh, that's really, really cool idea. Like in my mind, he never had a bad idea.
Right.
I just trusted him with the process.
Well, and ours too. 20 years later.
Yep.
What did he do? Your album?
No. He just all the albums he produced.
Oh, right. Yeah, I just like,
think
totally.
He's got the golden touch, in a sense.
Except one song I wish he didn't change was the song Zero off Smile.
Mm-hmm.
He did we went to it's not a big deal, but we go to a B flat now, and it's just, I wish we never did that. But whatever, it doesn't matter now. Dodson, we got Dodson here. See, nobody cares. Like that. Yeah, like everything he did was just glorious to me. And I remember the first song that we got tracked fully before he was even sent to mix, because JR was just kind of there. He just flew in, and Aaron was just he just did like a quick mix, just like a rough descend to JR. Right. And I remember he played it for me in the morning. I woke up, I came downstairs, like, hey, have a listen to this. And he played the song first time. And I just laughed because I didn't believe that it was us. I was like,
wow.
I'm like, no. I was like, that's actually our song. And that's when I clicked with me. I'm like, this is for real. Like, this is like a legit, like, this is happening. And I'm like, people are going to love this. And I was just so amped about it. And that was like,
awesome.
That was like the aha moment for me. And that's not even, that was like one of the worst songs on the album too.
And it still blew you away.
It still blew. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
man. I was going to ask, one of my questions was if you did a 20-year reunion tour, but you're kind of doing this in solo. But I was going to ask what songs, or we can just go imagine the band's back together, you're doing a full-on festival reunion for a 20-year reunion tour. Which songs? I
tried, by the way.
Yeah, Furnace Fest, man. Which songs are you the most excited to play from this record, and which songs are you the least excited to play? Would you be in this scenario?
The song that I thought I was going to be afraid to play them, because it's hard to do them all on acoustic, but Things We Go Through. For some reason, that was always like one of my favorite songs to do live, like with the band, because it was just high energy. People just seemed to be really into it. I always enjoyed that song, and I was kind of nervous to play it, but I'm like, it's you got to make it, like, especially if you're just doing it on acoustic, you got to make it feel more acoustic than, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I found like a sweet spot with it, and I'm excited to play that one.
Well, I can especially see that one being fun because of the feel change between like the verses and the chorus, like that kind of swing, like halftime thing on the chorus, like opening up. I could see you being able to have a lot of fun with that on acoustic and really open the song.
Yeah,
so
I think so. Also, "Take Me," of course. That just was kind of like, oh, that was like our song for the longest time. For people could relate to it the most, I think.
Right.
And just, I don't know, there's a big connection people had with that song. So I'd be excited to play that one again. I haven't gone over that one yet, but I will.
Well, hey, we can't skirt by. Which one are you least excited for? We're not trying to do gotcha journalism. I'm just curious.
Recess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have to skip that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
it's
like a
sort
race
of like
car. You
a
gotta find a way to play
transition
it.
piece in a sense because it's so short, right? So like, I think you could get away with skipping it. I don't
But
think
that song is what gave us a career. Did you know that?
No.
Tell us
which
everything.
one? That's why you're
Tell
here.
us, explain that in
So-
entirety.
we did a showcase in Nashville like a year later, and we got hired to do Yours, Mine, and Ours because of the showcase.
Yep.
And we didn't get hired on because of how good our music was. We showed up to Nashville, Tennessee. We drove from here all the way there, which was like a 17-hour drive.
Yeah.
Woo.
And all these other bands were way better than us, but they are all from Nashville. So I just remember Keith Urban's guitar player was there with his band, and they like played this song.
Whoa.
And they just ripped and shredded. And I was just like, we wasted our time coming down here. Like,
What are
we're just
we
a
doing
bunch of
here?
idiots, like just hacking on guitars and making jokes in between songs, trying to get a laugh from our friends in the stands,
Wow.
But then everyone packed up and just left, and we were there like, well, we drove 17 hours. We just got here. We're like, there's free food here. There's free drinks. There's free pool. Let's stay as
Just
long
hang
as we
out.
can and load up on some food. And we ended up staying there. And then these people just kept talking to us, and we just kept chatting with them, having laughs. And I think they just fell in love with us as people,
Right. You
which
guys
ended
are
up landing us I'm
good Canadian
convinced that's what
boys.
happened. So anyways, we management sent them our album letters to the president, and they listened to the whole thing. They're like, here's what we like. And they said, Recess.
Oh my God.
They're like, can you give us a song like this? And I was like, really? Like all these, like they like the little 40-second little intermission thing. And so this song "Bring 'Em Out" was written because of that song with that riff.
Oh,
If you listen to it, the A and B, that's what that is. "Bring 'Em Out" is a variation of Recess.
That makes
And then
sense.
we sent them that, and they're like, yeah, this is the song we want.
Wow.
That's
So-
wild.
Wow.
Well, hey,
It's a good thing
it's
you
great
kept it
that
on
you
the
put that on the
record.
record.
I know.
Yeah.
It helped you kind of grow.
I'd be working
and,
at
find
Radio Shack
yourselves.
right now if it wasn't for Recess.
That's really funny.
That is wild. That is
I
wild.
love it.
And like, so how do you feel about that now? I'm just curious. Like, as someone that is like attempted to make a career in creative stuff, it's always so interesting to me when things that you make connect with people that you didn't expect.
Yeah,
right?
especially when it's like it feels like a shorter, a smaller representation of your overall work, or like maybe it was something that just kind of happened off the cuff or something like that. Like it is really fascinating to like dig into that and see
Yeah.
whenever something resonates.
You know what? I don't think I realized the effect we had. When I left the band in 2012, I was still trying to make it. Like we were just trying to go for it. I didn't realize how successful we were till I got home. I was done with the band. I was home. And then I saw the impact we had. I was like, dang, I didn't know. I had no idea. I kept pushing for more and more and more, trying to become successful. And it just was never enough. And it's weird looking back on that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because I think that happens to a lot of people, right? If they're too close to the thing, if it's very close to home and they're sort of inside the eye of the storm, they don't see the storm. The storm
100%.
being success in this case.
Yeah, and I lived that. And I do remember the first time we played Every Little Thing, because that was like our first like radio single, back when radio was a thing. We were playing a festival. I was like in California or somewhere out in the West Coast. And I remember we played that song, like the entire like festival was singing along.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, holy crap,
Yeah,
like
what?
it's happening. Like that was a really, that's an unforgettable moment for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a great song. It's like, it's a classic sort of Beatles-esque single. It has a very like that thing you do.
That thing you
kind of
do for sure.
feeling.
And that was a complete rip off of it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the key change is there at the end.
If you're playing the Church Names Now drinking game, take a drink because TJ brought up that thing you do.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. It happened. No, it's a great song though. Like it makes sense that would be the big single.
We could be on the those old like was it CCM magazine? The CCM magazine book is like for fans of. If you're fans of the Wonders, you like Hawk Nelson.
Exactly.
This fake movie band.
I love the Oneaters.
I love the Oneaters.
Check out Hawk Nelson.
That's so funny. Do we have any more like specific questions?
Well,
Josh, I feel like
I've got
Josh
some.
Yeah.
Josh has a
he
got
came
some
prepared.
questions.
This was a big record for me growing up, so this is pretty exciting.
Josh. Oh, hey, you know what? While we have Jason here, no, I want to talk about something that we missed earlier. Is that we usually talk about what this record like meant to us.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh man!
And you just said it was a big record for you, so
let's
let's
put you on
the
talk about
spot.
that. This is the part of the show where we gas Jason up because
This was a big record for me. I think "Take Me" was one of the first songs. I'm sure it was probably bigger for you than for me. One could argue.
What? Really?
Yeah, this was one. I think "Take Me" was one of the first songs I heard on like a Tooth and Nail comp, and then I heard like every little thing on the radio and stuff like that in Austin. But I think I didn't get one of my friends burned me this CD. I'm sorry, Jason. He burned it for me. And so I listened to it a lot then. I'm sorry. But it did cause me to, whenever y'all came out with Smile, that I did buy it. And it was one of the first CDs that I ever bought with my own money. I think Art of Breaking came out the year before, so it beat y'all. But like Smile was one of the first that I bought with my own money. And I listened to it a ton. I don't know which one I listened to more and what I would have said.
Till my youth leader made me take it to the front and burn it. You remember those days?
No, you know what? So for me, like Letters to the President was one of the few because I got that record around the same time I got Tell All Your Friends by Taking Back Sunday, The Silence in Black and White by Hawthorne Heights.
Oh, you had cool parents. You're allowed to listen to that stuff?
No. That's what I'm saying is they made me get rid of because they went through one day on our dial-up internet on Netscape and found lyrics for all of these albums and printed them all off and sat me down and talked about how bad they all were. except for
2024
except for Letters to the President.
To do that.
I had buddies hiding porn under their mattress, and I'm like afraid my dad sees I have a Counting Crows CD.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but Letters to the President was allowed to stay in my parents' car.
Based on their
my dad was
analysis.
like, I like that. He was like,
Baby steps.
I like that California song. I'm like, okay.
All right.
Everyone does, Dad.
It gets
everyone
a pass.
does.
Yeah. If you don't, there's something wrong with
although, do you guys have kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids, and like my daughter's like singing something in the car. I'm like, I pulled the mirror. I'm like, what are you listening to? I'm like, I'm that dad. I'm like, oh
no. You've
become
my punk rock credit's all
dad.
gone.
Yeah. Starting line, that's fine. Imagine Dragons, no.
I think that's a perfectly fine line to draw.
No, that's completely acceptable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
So we normally go through, when we're going through track by track, we will normally call out our favorite songs. And I know we're doing an abridged version tonight, but I'm curious, Kylan and TJ and Jason, if you have one, if you have a favorite song that you guys would like to share and why it's your favorite song. I have mine, but I want to open the floor to anyone else.
Well, I'll go first. At the risk of being so basic, I gotta say,
here it goes.
I gotta say California, man. I know it's just, I wish that California song was the theme of the OC rather than the Phantom Planet.
Me
California. Too. I'm sure you do.
Could use those royalties. Yeah.
I'm gonna abstain on this one, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you big Phantom Planet fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Phantom Planet guy.
No, it's just so good.
But
that was my
either would be
introduction.
great. Maybe y'all could swap. Maybe it'd be like one season of Hawk Nelson.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But that was my introduction to Hawk Nelson, and I thought, oh, you know what? I also want to talk about the album art. I want to talk about whatever that photo shoot was.
Yes, that's a good story, actually.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm excited.
I just already talked it up too much. Shoot. It's not gonna be that good now. Dang it, I always do that.
The album art was just like, oh, these are like cool guys that I want to be like. Because we're like a couple years younger than you, and going from like a weird homeschool kid getting into like emo and pop punk, it was like, oh, this is like the epitome of cool. I wish I could. I wish I could look like this in the classroom.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, throwing paper airplanes, chewing bubblegum like I don't care.
Wearing cool band tees.
Yeah.
That was a free shirt, by the way, the Sidewalk Slam shirt. I had like no clothes or no money, so we got to go to like the Tooth and Nail warehouse. I'm like, I'll grab this so I can wear that for tomorrow. Perfect.
That's great.
That's so funny.
True story.
I love that. Josh, what's your favorite song?
Oh, nice. Well, did you do the story on the shoot, Jason, or was there more to the shoot?
Let's do it.
It's quick. I just thought it was cool because that classroom was actually Jimi Hendrix's classroom when he was a kid.
What?
Oh.
Garfield High School in Seattle, Washington.
That is so cool.
That is really cool.
Oh my God, I like it even more. Wow.
It was iconic before, and now it's historic. That's very cool.
That is pretty sweet.
Very cool.
So how did you
pick that spot, and like who chose it?
I believe it was Ryan Clark's.
That makes sense.
Nice. He took all the photos, and there's another guy. He was such a jerk to us.
Oh no!
And I can't think of what his name was. Matt? No, he hated us. But I would hate us too because we don't ever take anything serious.
Right.
Yeah,
you're a bunch of like 20-year-old dudes in a pop punk band.
I'd be really annoyed with Matt. I forget his name. It's gonna drive me nuts now. But yeah, he was not impressed with us.
That's so funny.
These punk rock kids.
But
in Canada.
I don't remember. I don't think he was in Demon Hunter with Ryan, but. Part of that, what was their company?
Chris would take a lot of pictures with.
Chris.
Was it Chris McCadden?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
He did a lot of photography and was in Demon Hunter.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't a fan of us.
To be fair, like now as an adult, if a bunch of like
I would hate us.
20-year-old.
Yeah, I would.
100%.
I would have a hard time.
Okay. All right.
I would never commit to that. Like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That's so funny. I love that.
Oh, that's good.
Did the sorry, what's the drummer's name again?
Matt
for that album.
For us, Matt.
Did the bubble that he was blowing, was that real? Did the photographer just like
real.
capture the timing perfectly?
That was real.
And then I'm guessing the paper plane was superimposed, right? That was like
I think that was also real.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
To get that timing, if that's real, to get the bubble and the paper plane at the same time, that's
a great shot. It's a great
shot.
Well,
none of us stood still, so it's like what you get what you get, basically.
Well, that was kind of the nature of the question, was like, how long did y'all have to sit still to get the bubble and the paper plane and everything being perfectly, like the note being passed and all that?
I just feel like they probably just took a ton of shots. And I don't know, this seems like it's pretty common knowledge, but if you look at the chalkboard, we put all the song titles on the chalkboard.
Right.
We changed the name of one of the songs.
Oh,
really?
I forget. I think it was right here.
That.
Oh, well, there's one that says "These Are the Days."
Originally, the song was called "These Are the Days."
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
And we changed the song to "Right Here."
Oh yeah,
that's
it's like an error card.
Yeah, that's a fun little Easter egg.
That is cool.
I like it.
So, Kylan, you asked my favorite song.
Yeah, dude.
I would love to hear a little bit more from Jason on this as well. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like California may be the best song. I mean, it's hard to not pick it, but I will say this last week when I was listening to the record, the one that stuck out to me the most that I was really enjoying, a little bit of maybe a wild card, but Someone Else Before was a great one. One, I love the scene in the chorus where Jason receives news that he's in love with his girlfriend, and then he just nonchalantly sips his water. It's like, I love the scene of that. Like, that's so
That's
good.
John Dunn.
Yes, that's what I was gonna get to. So the phone conversation. No.
You don't need to watch it now, guys. They just ruined the cliffhanger. Idiot.
No, you're good. We're getting there. And I love that, like, as the song progresses, like, Jason, like, you keep, like, pushing your register, like, more and more. Like, you're singing stronger in the second verse, and then by the time the final chorus hits, like, you're just, like, really, like...
I get all dashboard escalating on it.
Yeah, but that's what's cool, because, like, you know it's not just, like, comped or, like, just copy and pasted, so you're, like... And it's, like, escalating the entire song. It's got a sweet lead.
Here's a funny story about that one. Just I'm thinking about it now. I had to sing that one so many times because I couldn't speak properly. My Canadian accent was too thick. So I'm trying to think of how that song goes. Do I say sorry or something? There's a song where I say sorry, and I kept saying sorry, and he's like, he had to keep stopping. He's like, no, you got to say it like this, and I couldn't get it, and it was getting really irritating. I think more for Aaron than for me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I can't tell the difference. Like, I am saying that. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, but I get it now after being in the States for 15 years. I'm like, oh shoot, yeah. Like, I don't think I have much of an accent for anywhere anymore. I'm just like a nomad. But
right.
Was that something going in that they were like, hey, we're gonna try to? Because, like, I don't know. Was that like? I could see you making Tooth and Nail being like, that's part of the charm of Hawk Nelson because you're Canadian, or were they just being like, hey, sing it like Americans?
I think it's probably stop trying to sound like Tom DeLonge. I think was probably the
yeah.
I'm sure that was like every pop punk band in the 2000s probably got that note.
Of course,
you guys came by it honestly.
I'm sorry.
Well, let's talk about the phone conversation. Because that's John Dunn, and it's Autumn Clark. Is that
Ryan's wife?
Ryan's wife. Okay, cool. I didn't know if it was Ryan or Dawn's. Is she the one that's also on the Haste the Day album?
I think so.
Artwork? Okay,
You're
I think
right,
she's
Josh.
one of the Clark wives are on those. But yeah, so how did that come about? The phone call and having them do it.
I don't remember. I just remember thinking it'd be funny to have, like, I believe it was Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus that gave us the inspiration for it. I think that's what it was. That was one of our. We had a mix with a bunch of just bangers on it, from the early 2000s. Yeah. Remember that was on it. But I thought that song. I think that was the inspiration behind it. John was just in the studio at the time, and Aaron was like, "Hey, would you do this?" I was like, "Can you call?" I was like, "We'll get Autumn," and she was there. Or he just called her, and we literally recorded the conversation.
Wow.
Zach Hodges was another guy. He was in the studio working on a different album or something at that time. So he's like, so tell me, it's Zach, isn't it? Like, Zach was just there. That's literally how it all happened.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
John Dunn just feels like the Forrest Gump of Tooth and Nail. Like, he just like stumbled into like a bunch of
everything
accidentally. He's just there when everything happens accidentally.
Yeah. Just get John, he'll do it. Yeah.
That's why he has so many stories.
Yeah,
that's great.
Him and also Randy Torres as well. He's another guy who's always just around.
Just there. Yep.
I love that.
That makes sense.
That was such a great time in life, though. Just all these random guys that just show up. You're like, this is so awesome.
Yeah, it was the heyday of everything happening there.
Yeah.
So, Jason, what was I want to know what was like the hardest thing to track on this record? Like, do you have anything that you specifically remember that was just like either you had to do it a bunch of times or just, whether physically or emotionally, or what was the toughest thing to get down?
Well, I think because recording was just such a whole new experience, like that kind of recording.
Right.
Like, I remember when we do EPs, we just show up and we spend like 3 hours for the whole band, and I'd sing it once or twice. Like, okay, great. And then they'd send us what we came up with. But for them to like spend 5 or 6 hours on one vocal, that was a whole new experience for me. And I remember like the first day, like, oh, I'm not going to have no voice tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. It was just one of those things you had to train your voice. And then you just learn that your voice is actually a muscle like any other part of your body, and to learn to use it and exercise it and warm it up and keep it healthy. And that was a whole new, that and this, once we recorded, we were on the road like nonstop. So that was a whole year of learning how to use your voice properly. And
right.
So there wasn't really a specific song that was the case, but for like just learning from the first, like I said, first time was the first song we recorded. After it'd be like, I'm supposed to do 2 songs today. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. Yeah. So we had do-over days, but it was good for us. It was good for me to learn how to do that. The one story, it's kind of applies, I think you'll appreciate this. I think it was maybe the second song. Like we talked to Brandon Ebel a few times, and I remember we went out for dinner like the first night we flew in. Like they took us to, it was like Cheesecake Factory or PF Chang, a fancy restaurant,
right?
And they paid for the meal. And I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm like, well, you're like, you are buying this, right? Before I order this steak, I want to make sure I'm not paying $28 for this.
Right.
Just getting wined and dined over there.
Yeah, I was like, you don't want to dine and dash. This is too awkward. But like, he was Brandon Ebel. Like, he's the man. And I remember I was getting ready to just do scratch vocals for all the different songs, and I was kind of new to that as well. And I was working on 36 Days, and there was no piano track or anything. I was just singing straight to a click. And I was just about to start singing, and I saw Brandon come through the door, and my heart sunk. Like, I'm like, I can't suck. I gotta
the worst.
I gotta turn this on. I gotta sell this. And so I just sang my heart out, pretending I didn't know he was there. And I sang it once, and that's actually the vocal we used.
Oh, cool.
No way.
Because then I went in, and I was new to recording, and I was adamant with Aaron. I'm like, this is the only thing I stood my ground on then. I was a kid. I'm like, no, I'd like to go and like actually sit at a grand piano and record this piano. He's like, no, bro. He's like, we just bring in a MIDI controller. I'm like, no, it'll sound way better. It'll sound way better coming from a grand piano. He's like, all right, I'll take you in.
Right, man.
So we went in, and
way to stand your ground on that.
I didn't know. Awesome. Then I realized, like, oh yeah, you can get some really great piano plugins. I didn't know that then.
Sure,
but
it's
not the same.
Yeah, the experience would have been totally different.
Dynamics in the keys on like a weighted grand piano. You can just kind of get into it, and it was more emotional, I felt. And but yeah, that vocal stayed. So that was a one take.
Wow,
that's so cool.
That's very cool.
And then did you just take that back to your brothers and be like, is piano for girls now?
Yeah, eat that, bro. Yeah, now all I do is play piano. So.
Sweet. Well, guys, I think we're going to start winding down pretty soon. So if anyone has any other specific questions, or Jason, if there's any other, like, we love these super specific recording stories. If there's anything else you want to share, I would love to hear it.
Well, I was just going to say very quickly, if Jason wants to take a second to think of anything else he wants to add, I just wanted to mention, as far as favorite songs go, I would say Late Show, but that's kind of an MXPX song.
Yes,
and
it is.
I would also say like a race car, but that's kind of a 1,000 Foot Crutch song.
It's like the B-sides of both those bands. Like,
yeah, they're the best songs by those bands by Hawk Nelson.
Yeah.
They're awesome songs.
Friend of mine said the exact same thing to me.
Really?
He's like, I heard your first album. He's like, it just sounds like a crappy TFK song. I'm like, oh.
See, I don't think
that's
it's crappy.
What I love about that, though.
I think both of those songs are great. They're just like you doing those bands, but doing them excellently. But I feel like the answer I have to give is also the basic one, which is California. I mean, also, Every Little Thing is a No Neaters song, so I can't go with that either.
Sure.
So I have to go with California. That song is a banger. It rips. I mean,
it's iconic.
Yeah.
And the video is great.
The video is great.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
The video is not great. Are you talking about California or Every Little Thing?
California.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
We got a 3-for-1 deal from a bunch of college kids to do those videos.
Oh,
they were
really?
doing like a school project. So the label gave them like, I don't know, like a couple $1,000 to do 3 music videos.
Right.
They spent the entire budget on the California music video. We rented like
so.
those stuff, and then we had to do 2 other videos. So we just set up really crappy videos for Every Little Thing and From Underneath.
Oh man, I don't know if I've even seen those, but
Yeah,
I've seen California.
Yeah.
Seen California more than
Get what
enough
you pay
that
for.
justified the budget for it. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That video is awesome.
And then
You
Trevor
did-
shows up to save the day at the end.
You know?
What's not to love?
Yeah. Was it fun shooting that one?
Yeah, because that was our first experience ever doing a music video.
Right.
And music videos were cool back then, right? So like
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, just the fact that we got to do that. I'd never been to California before, so like it was a lot of firsts.
Mhm.
Right.
We flew in to film those videos. I remember we rented a car, or our manager rented a car for us, and we all piled in. And I remember seeing like an orange tree for like the first time in my life, or a lemon tree. I think it was an orange tree. And I'm like, pull over. So we pulled over, and I climbed this random fence and tree to grab an orange. And this punk guy, he wasn't a punk. I was climbing his tree on his property.
Yeah, no, you're such a dad now, right? Like your perspective on this now has totally shifted.
Yeah, now I'm an adult now. I'm like, yeah, that was really immature and stupid of me. But I wanted to grab an orange, and he grabbed me and pulled me down with the tree. And he basically almost beat the crap out of me. And I was still talking
You're like,
to him,
hey man, I've just never seen an orange tree before.
You know what? They just should have filmed that for the other 2 music videos.
Oh, that would have been a great premise.
Great B-side there. Actually, I forgot. I showed my kids that video for the first time like last summer.
Oh yeah.
And I'd forgotten all about the little motorbike things we ripped around on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we kept those things all night, and we just ripped around LA or wherever, Santa Monica, I think it was. And I ran over it was like a Mario Kart, like someone threw a banana peel, but I hit a plastic bag and wiped out hard.
Oh no.
And the only thing that saved me was I wore that helmet as a joke, and I spilled, and
it actually came in handy, huh?
Yeah, my whole arm is still scarred to this day because of it.
My God.
Oh wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah. People are like, why do you have that scar? I'm like, I don't remember. That's what it was.
That's so funny.
I gotta know, Jason, where did they find the teacher character? The lady that plays the teacher.
They just put a casting call out.
Really?
Yep.
She was just some random person that answered a casting call.
Yeah, and all those people that were in it.
Well, they made history, man. It's a great video.
Such a great tie-in of like the premise of the music video tying into like the album cover of like you in class. Like that's a very genius move. I love how it just perfectly connects. Yeah,
all connected.
It's all connected.
All connected.
And then we ended up throwing that paper airplane in like every album after that.
Oh yeah,
that's
kind of
cool.
become your thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just now putting
it was
together.
in plain
That's great.
sight. Get it?
The whole time.
That's good. That's
good. Awesome.
All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap up, if that's okay with everybody.
I just got the notification that my phone's about to die, so yeah.
Okay, well that's perfect timing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Not you, it's me.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for being on the show. This was so fun. I mean, we could I could do this all night. I could come up with 5 more rounds of Tony Hawk, Nelson Mandela.
You just have to do other
Bro, my whole family's
for me to ace.
Party all night.
Sweet. So is there anything you want to plug, let people know about? Like you said, you're going to do like a track by track thing.
I've put zero thought into it other than I need to play the album front to back. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I hear Facebook Live is the place to do it.
Okay, cool.
So
people should go find it.
I need to do a video promoting it, but I have to put it all together first in my head,
right?
And probably learn the songs so I don't look like an idiot.
Well, that would probably help.
Maybe.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's rock and roll. What do you want? Like,
right.
come on.
Yeah. But then I do want to give the introduction on how every song came about. You know, I think I think people just appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to have you back for more Hawk Nelson anniversaries as the years go by.
Yeah, I tried to get the band back together to do the 20th year. Right. I had one person show interest, and then I even went as far as buying the name back. I tried to buy Hawk Nelson back. Wasn't for sale, basically.
Oh man,
bummer.
So that's it.
You tried that.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Hawk Nelson.
Yep.
Maybe someday. Maybe
well,
someday.
it can be Jason Dunn from, and just put Hawk Nelson like really small font.
Really
on
tiny.
things.
Yeah.
I know your phone's about to die, and so I don't want to get too much into this, but like I know the band did continue on after you left, but to me, like Jason Dunn is like your voice is the voice of Hawk Nelson. So I mean we're of a certain age. You know, I don't know how maybe younger fans may feel, but it's just like, well, yeah, they're like one and the same to us at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agreed.
So Hawk Nelson is the Jason Dunns we met along the way, right? Like,
Yes, well said, Kylan. Well said.
yeah. Okay, well, we will let you go. Thank you so much. This was incredibly fun.
Thanks, Jason.
Yes. Thanks.
This was a real treat. Made my night.
Awesome. We're
awesome, man.
It made ours too. So thank you so much. I'm gonna give our little spiel we do at the end. If you like nonsense, if you like this, we have more nonsense like it at our Patreon at patreon.com/ChurchJamesNow podcast. And of course, from all of us here at Church James Now, may all your favorite bands stay together, and peace out, Monfrères.
Let's pack up and move to California, Monfrères.
If you're a fan of Five Iron Frenzy, Reliant K, MXPX, do you like pop punk? Josh, don't
Yes.
answer that. Then Small Step Records is the record label for you. They have a couple of releases that are out right now that we really love. Names Without Numbers and Chives McAllister, which we've highlighted in previous ads. But right now, we want to talk about Sam's the Hero. Chase the Daylight is rad as heck.
And it's out now.
It is out
Get
now.
It's not just like behind the paywall for us, you know.
Well, if
like,
I wanted to get it, TJ, how is there a good way to do that? You know?
well, I think you're going to go to smallsteprecords.com/artists and find them there. But that's not all. There is a discount code.
There's more.
Yeah. There's a nifty discount code for listeners.
What
20%.
is it? I
It's
wonder
20%.
what it could be.
It's 20% off everything in the web store. Get this,
For now.
forever. No, not just for now, Kylan. Forever. Forever.
And what is that discount code? It's got to be what?
It's Church Jams Now, baby.
Church
Use your
Jams
fingers.
Now.
Use them
your
fingers. Type in Church Jams Now for 20% off everything forever, you guys.
Whoa.
It's that easy. And all profits go towards supporting the artist roster.
What's not to
So-
love about that?
Come on. Just do it.
Ouch.
Oh, God.
I'm on board this time.
I know. Old habits die hard. Anyway, check out Small Step Records, guys. Let's get back to the show.
Let's do it.